The data of Amazon Marketing Cloud, or AMC in short, can significantly improve your sponsored ad performance by providing user-level insights and advanced targeting capabilities. In this video, you will learn how to leverage AMC to create custom audiences and implement effective targeting strategies for better conversion rates, all with their real case studies. Our guest is XNURTA today, and if you want to try XNURTA tool for managing your advertising, find the link in the description below.
Hello, Ben. Welcome to Orange Klik YouTube channel. I'm very excited to have you as my guest today because you're going to talk about Amazon Marketing Cloud and how it helps Amazon sellers to improve their sponsored ad performance. As always, before we go to the best part of the video, which is the content, could you first introduce yourself and also tell us how XNURTA is helping Amazon sellers to stay on top of Amazon advertising?
Yeah, well, it's good to be back. And for those who don't know me, my name is Ben Meyer. I'm the global sales lead here at XNURTA, mostly based in London and working on our European expansion. But XNURTA is an AI-based Amazon advertising optimization platform that is really built for ad managers, agencies, and internal teams to use AI to manage their campaigns, but also rules-based automation, manual tools. And on top of that, you have everything full funnel from Amazon DSP to Amazon Marketing Cloud with no code. It really lets you do everything from point A to point B with Amazon ads.
Sounds really good. And you were recently also physically present at one of our main conferences, European Sales Conference. I saw you having lots of conversations with different Amazon sellers from Europe. And probably AMC was also one of the main topics sellers are currently curious about because many of them are not leveraging the data that is available yet. So we're super excited to see what you teach us about it and how we could use that information to then put it actually in use. I know you prepared some slides and you also have some case studies for us. So we are ready for you. You can go ahead, share your screen, and we're eager to hear.
Okay, let's get into it. So, like I said before, XNURTA is an Amazon Ads Advanced partner. We're one of the fastest growing software companies in the space. And today we're really going to focus in on our capabilities around Amazon Marketing Cloud and specifically with sponsored ads as well, too, because I think it's often overlooked that AMC can be a really powerful tool for those that aren't even leveraging DSP. So a little bit more background about us. We are a global company, so we have support and a presence everywhere in every region that you're selling on Amazon. And over 50% of the global AMC instances are actually managed by XNURTA. So we take this expertise and we've been able to really distill that into a no-code solution that sellers everywhere are able to use and easily access and pull insights, audiences, and data from AMC without having to write a single line of code. So this will cover today, for the most part, why use Amazon Marketing Cloud, what's standing in the way for most sellers, some concrete use cases that you can actually go ahead and take away, and then a step-by-step case study with our client Goal Zero. And this was actually the foundation that won the Technology Innovation Award at last year's Amazon Ads Partner Gala. So what is AMC? We're going to start from the basics here, but AMC is what we call a data clean room. What makes this special, right, is you're getting user level data for all of your Amazon ads. So a lot of times when you're seeing sales data, clicks, impressions, that stuff is not deduplicated by users. So that can be multiple people doing multiple clicks. So you're not getting unique data on every single person and shopper that's coming to you. And that's what AMC really lets you do, is see user level interactions for all these different conversion events that you can't see in the ad console themselves. A lot of different business questions are constantly being asked about, what you can get from AMC. First thing you can see are, what are my most valuable audience segments? How are my sponsored product ads performing with new to brand shoppers? When should we retarget people based on different actions that they've done? And then how should I allocate my budget across different ad types when I really want to zoom out and look long term? Because so often when we just look at things like ACOS and tacos, it doesn't always tell the full picture of how our full funnel media is going to be performing to grow our brand in the long term. So this is just a little bit more about why AMC. These are the different, real actions that you can take from here. So you have audience targeting, find the right shoppers, build audiences, And with sponsored ads, we can target these two ways. So even if you're not using DSP, we can build audiences of people that have added to cart but haven't purchased, people that have viewed your detail page more than once, people that have added things to a wish list. We can take all those people, bundle them together as an audience, and then ship it to our sponsored product ads and set a bid multiplier. So when your high value shoppers that you've already been investing to try and get to purchase your products, when they finally come back around, you can make sure that you're going to show up top of search on the page, especially for someone that's more likely to convert. So sponsored products is one way. You also have sponsored display ads. So you can push these ad audiences out to sponsored display and be very targeted with on-site display ads just through the sponsored display console. Keyword optimization. With AMC, you get insights into metrics that you don't have with sponsored products. One of those is add to cart rate. Now, there's a lot of people out here that talk about CTR, like optimizing CTR is the holy grail of increasing your performance. A lot of people will talk about conversion rate too, but there's actually an in-between metric if you really want to look at the two of those, which is add to cart rate. So conversion rate is going to be getting a full sale. Click-through rate is just clicking on it. Add to cart are those people that do finally add this to cart. So it's kind of that middle ground right there. And you can optimize off this and see pretty fantastic results. Shopper behavior insights. Again, these are all the different signals that you would see. So everything that people are doing in terms of searching for different search terms while looking for your product, to when they viewed ads, every single touch point they've done. That's the beauty of AMC. This all lives in here. Segmentation, cross-selling opportunities, and then everything that you see here below. We'll get into these in a little bit more detail. So again, DSP is no longer a requirement for Amazon Marketing Cloud, but I do think you need to be conscious about the size of your business before you go ahead with AMC because of the privacy limitations. So there's certain amounts of data that you need to pull insights or audiences from AMC that try to maintain the privacy threshold. So I'd say realistically, if you're under like a 7-figure seller annually, it's probably not going to have enough data for you realistically, because you need a large volume of conversions to even build an audience size that's going to be meaningful enough. So let's just walk it back for a second for an example there. If the minimum audience size for AMC is 1,000 users, and I want to build that for sponsored products for a bid multiplier, that is like a needle in the haystack. If I just have 1,000 people that did one action and I'm going to increase my bids for them, what is the likelihood that they're going to be searching based on all the other search volume on Amazon, especially in the US marketplace? So I would just want to make sure your audience sizes are big enough to actually make an impact when it comes on the sponsored ad side. So sample use cases, the core one is always going to be custom audience creation. And you can do this through a couple different means. If you have your own first-party data from your D2C site, you can upload that as a hashed email list, create lookalike audiences, but also from all the different conversion events. Then everything else you see here is more around analysis that will help you distill things down to get the best budget allocation between ad types, but also what different audience ideas that you can go ahead and create. These are just a few of our no-code templates that we would have in the platform. So very popular is customer lifetime value. This is actually pretty exciting because AMC has a lot of paid features to unlock data that I think a lot of sellers are typically interested in. So one of those being your organic data. So base level free AMC comes with all of your ads attributed data. So someone has to have been exposed to an impression of one of your ads at a minimum over the past 12.5 months. If you subscribe to the paid insights, then you're able to get all of your organic conversion data. So that's kind of the holy grail, what I think a lot of people are looking for. They extended this actually to go back 5 years. So customer lifetime value is no longer restrained by that 12.5-month look back. You can actually look at 5 years of conversion data, which is going to give you a much more accurate picture of what products and types of demographics and shoppers you should be investing in. Cross-product association is just our cross-selling model. This is going to show you exact user-level data of how people are either doing alternative purchases across your catalog, simultaneous in the same basket or subsequent. So what do they buy first, and then what do they buy next from your catalog? And then finally, a multi-touch attribution. I think this is more valuable for sellers that are doing full funnel, right? With DSP and everything. Multi-touch attribution is a different way of looking at attribution outside of what Amazon provides you. So there's a bunch of different models you can choose from there. If anyone has any questions on that and how to get started, that's a good situation to reach out to us just to get a better picture of how we've used it. And I would say this is much more for like, high 7 figures, 8-figure, 9-figure sellers to start doing that. So a couple of these use cases are, first one is you're interested in measuring customer lifetime value because you sell a consumable item. So this could be supplements, beauty product, really anything that is made for a repeat purchase. Could be even be soap, like Dr. Squatch would be a great example of someone that would want to measure customer lifetime value. Now, using an AMC model for customer lifetime value, ideally what you can do is customize it to certain groups of campaigns and product lines, and then identify which times of the year and then which campaigns are going to provide you a higher lifetime ROAS. So instead of looking at just general ROAS from the first sale, you're going to be able to measure lifetime ROAS. So you're going to factor in all these additional purchases that these people are making, things like subscribe and save rate as well. So this is kind of the holy grail, especially if you have a really high CPC category that you're investing in, and you want to know, is this actually going to be worth it long term based on the data to go ahead and invest dollars behind these campaigns? Or should I just pull the plug, leave Amazon, and go to like Shopify and do meta ads? So that's first use case you can use. Second one, and this is probably the most popular way people were getting started with AMC to see real results in the beginning, is leveraging these audiences for lead up, during, and post big tentpole shopping events. So things like Prime Day. And Amazon adds a new Prime Day type of scenario, it seems like every year. Now we have the Spring Big Deals Day. Same with the fall and summer Prime Days. And then you have the Cyber 5, obviously. But what this allows you to do, first is now you have all the shopper intent data from all the different conversion events and actions and ad exposures that you've had. And now you can use these to build audiences to make sure that when those high intent shoppers that have been researching your products leading up to the event finally go to make the purchase, you're going to be their top of search. But then we're also actually targeting them with DSP ads very precisely and for a much lower cost because we're leveraging our own data to go ahead and push them to finally make that purchase on Prime Day. So audiences you can make are really easy, and you build them with no code. So I would go, I'd select an audience with a conversion event. I would select my conversion event, and let's just use add to cart for this example. So I'd select add to cart is my conversion event, and I do greater than one time. So they've added to cart at least once, and then I'd select my time frame. So it can be the past 30 days, the past 60 days, could be the past year if I want in general. And then I'm going to add a second parameter that's anyone that hasn't purchased this product. So what this is doing is giving me an audience of people that now I can use with DSP, sponsored display, or sponsored products. And these are our cart abandoners. So they're familiar with our brand. They were close to making a purchase. Likely on Prime Day, when they have a deal in front of them, maybe that was what the blocker was. This can finally get them to try it and hopefully convert them into a long-term shopper. Now, if you wanted to combine these two use cases that you see here, right? So you can have your strategy on Prime Day of using these people or using these audiences to convert shoppers. You can then go and measure the customer lifetime value for all of your new to brand shoppers from the month of July. And then you can actually see, was the investment worth it? Are these deals resulting in higher, more loyal customers? So use case 3 here is you want to accelerate conversions from your first ad exposure to purchase. So you can use what's called a timed conversion model in AMC. What this is going to tell you is based on whatever intervals you want to break out, how long it takes from that first ad exposure for 100% of the purchases to be made by everyone who did end up buying your product. So you can see that maybe in this model, about 70% of your conversions happen within the first 24 hours of ad exposure. And then this slowly increased, but really after 60 days, no other purchases were being made. So we want to accelerate getting the rest of the people out there. We can build audiences of people who are exposed to ads, but exclude the first like 48 hours. So make sure that's everyone beyond that was exposed to one of our ad, and then start retargeting them or using it to multiply our bids if they're coming back to shop. Because we know we have them now. We have about 30 days to make the actual, purchase happen. Otherwise, it becomes unlikely. And then for an upcoming tentpole event day, this last use case, you can combine this again. Like these can all be interchangeable with the audiences that you were building before. But look at cross-product association data. This is another model that we have that's no code, and I briefly touched on it before. But you're basically able to see if my consumer buys product A, what is the most likely next product they're going to buy? So let's think about this example. We had people that bought all of our lawnmowers in the beginning of the year. And we know that the most likely next product they'd buy after a lawnmower would be a leaf blower. So we can go ahead and take an audience of everyone that has purchased our lawnmower in the past calendar year, but has not purchased a leaf blower yet. And then those are going to be our prime targets for our lead up into the tentpole event, when there's going to be a deal, when we can have a higher conversion rate. So let's take a look into a specific customer use case that we had. So one of our clients, Goal Zero, came to us at an interesting position. They were the first mover in the category of portable power stations. So when van life got really big and everyone started moving around because COVID, these became more and more popular. And what kind of happened was there was an influx of competitors from overseas that were really, really talented with marketing and very aggressive in price, and were putting out really good products. So things like Jackery and EcoFlow. Through this, Goal Zero got a bit stagnant and really lost market share when they were the first ones there. And they used to have total ownership of the category. So our main goal when they came to us was, how do we regain market share for them? How do we maximize their total ROAS and tacos? And then how do we improve their ROAS and their branded search volume, and basically just turn this brand around that had lost a lot of market share overall? So down here, you can see all the AMC data that was utilized, and it was a lot of all of our models together. And this would kind of work seamlessly step by step. So step one was the migration of all their data and integrating it within our platforms. So we transitioned them from their previous agency that they were using, connected them to our console, and then connected every single Amazon API. So they had reporting now for AMC, DSP, hourly data with sponsored ads. And then step two was the AMC setup and then baseline audience activation. This is something that we always do with every single one of our clients. Whether you are coming in as a SaaS offering or you need some additional help, is we'll recommend baseline audience activations for you. So these key audience segments were people that have added to cart, added to wish list, and branded searchers. So you can build audiences of people that were searching for Goal Zero. So those are just your baseline audiences. Every single seller and person on Amazon should be activating add to cart, added to wish list, and branded searchers. It was so easy to create, and they will perform well on virtually any campaign that you attach on there. So also, if we're looking for like an example with the branded searchers, if I'm advertising on generic keywords, I want to make sure that I'm not losing customers that had searched for my brand as well. So I can set a gentle bid multiplier on my branded searchers, or even a negative bid multiplier because maybe I don't want to pay more for them. And that way I'm kind of layering on previous data on top of my generic and more incremental search terms. Step 3 was enhanced audience targeting. So I'd be curious to know, at least in the comments, or if anyone wants to follow up with me after, is how many people are using the Amazon ad tag on their D2C website. Most people that are running DSP and have a good Shopify presence should really consider, adding this on, because the amount of data you can capture is free and also extremely valuable. So you would need this if you ever wanted to do an analysis of, what's the flow and direction of my customers? Is Amazon bringing customers to my D2C, or are my D2C customers fleeing to Amazon? And what's like the movement between those two? So you can take all this data from the Amazon ad tag and capture all these emails, and you can upload a hashed email list. So this is basically like encrypted. So it's completely anonymous, and you upload this into AMC, and you're able to match these users to AMC users, all anonymous, and then also create lookalike audiences for people that have similar demographics and similar behaviors. So this was step 3. Then this is a little bit more advanced way of doing audience targeting. But if you are really investing in your Shopify presence as well, and you want to leverage what you've done on Amazon before, highly recommend looking into implementing the Amazon ad tag in different pixels on different pages of your website. Okay, step 4 is AI-driven insights and optimization. So this is where we started leveraging our software and our models for more analytics and ongoing insights. So step 2 and 3 in the first stage with AMC is always the audience activation. Start with the baseline, then start to refine them with some more advanced strategies. Now we're going to go to the analytics. With the analytics, we used what I mentioned earlier, were Amazon's paid insights. So you have ASI and FSI. One is Amazon Shopping Insights. The other is Flexible Shopping Insights. ASI is basically all of the interest tags and demographic tags of every known user in the Amazon universe. So let's say you'll have like 10 different interest tags attached to you based on your shopper history and purchase history and your search history. So we'll know like everything that you're interested in. Same with me and everyone else. You can actually unlock all of those and use those to index and build your audiences with if you have access to this paid feature. FSI is going to be interesting for most sellers because this is your non-ad attributed data. So in other words, it's all of your organic data. So with this, you're able to start building audiences off of people who have done different behaviors that haven't been exposed to your ads. So now you can target organic cart abandoners. So people that you really wouldn't be able to touch either way, we can now bundle them and chase them off Amazon if we even want to with DSP. And then step 5 was the audience refinement. So we created 97 highly specific AMC audiences based on the behavioral insights from ASI, different findings that we found through time to conversion, multi-touch attribution models to essentially refine their whole strategy and leverage a lot of AMC. So we're bundling all these like high converting audiences and shoppers and people that they might not be able to target otherwise with AMC, and then just spreading this out through everything they're doing. So the ultimate results around this were 1, a 30% year-over-year growth in sales, 16% increase in shopper reach. So adding in net new shoppers into their realm of data, and then a 20% decrease year over year in tacos. So a real improvement on the bottom line after all this. So all this work together was just a true example of a full funnel implementation of everything with DSP, AMC, using AI to optimize sponsored ads as well, and also the paid insights and paid features of AMC. So if anyone has any questions on this, feel free to reach out to our team. We can go into some more detail of how we did each of these steps. Just a brief quick look here. Again, like I had mentioned many times, our solution kind of comprises, AI, Copilot, and sponsored ads, management. It's done through AI rules, also manual controls as well. AMC Hub, which we talked about a lot today, and also DSP access and tools. So that's all I have for today. If anyone wants to contact us, please use the QR code below. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn or via email at ben.meyer@xnurta.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ben. And we're going to also link the website down in the video description. And as Ben mentioned multiple times throughout the video, if you have any questions about AMC or what Ben just covered, feel free to reach out either directly to him or leave your questions also under the video as comments, because then we will ask Ben to come back to the video and answer those as well. Well, thank you so much. It was very interesting to hear. Especially the case studies part, I think, which really helped to paint a picture about different ways how the data from AMC could be used by sellers in a very useful way. But for someone who is fairly new to the Amazon Marketing Cloud, it also could feel a little bit overwhelming because, I mean, already it's amount of data and details you get from it. Um, but then you also need to have a good strategy about what you actually want to achieve, and you need to also implement it, as you said later on. So, what do you think? Is it even realistic to somehow benefit from using Amazon Marketing Cloud in house without having an external partner or software like yours?
In-house, it's possible. And I think Amazon is building out more and more capabilities to make it easier to use. Um, but going through a partner is much easier, and you can do this yourself through no code and a software tool. But if you do have an agency managing your ads, it makes sense to have them, fold this into their overall strategy as well. In terms of getting started, and for people that don't know what to do, um, you can reach out to our team. We do have lists and libraries of audiences that people should be building for each segment. And it'll be a little bit even more detailed than what I shared here today. So it'll tell you like step by step, put X, Y, and Z together, and then push it to these types of campaigns.
It sounds good. During the presentation, you also mentioned when it would roughly be like a good time for a seller to consider starting using Amazon Marketing Cloud. So you mentioned mostly in terms of like the yearly revenue, where it could be like a sweet spot to start. Is there anything else to consider? For example, a few cases where maybe again it doesn't really make sense to kind of focus on it right now.
Oh, yeah. I think it's definitely better suited for private label products. I wouldn't say this is a great fit or a need for anyone that's doing resale products. Um, and then the other thing too is the amount of ads data that you have matters. So while you can leverage the paid features like the organic data that we mentioned for free right now, your volume of data that you're going to have is only based on how much ad exposure you have. So you could be a 7-figure seller, but if you have not really invested in ads that heavily, you might have like data limitations. So my advice would be the AMC instance is free to create. So definitely test it out and see if it's going to be worth it for you. But if you are having like lower data issues, then maybe you want to continue investing in your advertising to increase that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, sounds reasonable. Okay, good. So you also mentioned a little bit about your company and how you help Amazon sellers, but could you once more highlight what are the main solutions or services you offer for Amazon sellers, and when and who should reach out to you to learn more and perhaps also to collaborate with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work with sellers of all sizes, everyone from making hundreds of millions of dollars a year on Amazon to people that are just starting out. And we offer solutions for everything full funnel. So for all of your sponsored ads, we can help you launch and optimize those really easily with a few clicks. For everything with DSP, we have probably the most full-fledged DSP launch activation. Again, that's a no code, very easy process. And then with AMC as well. So we want to provide full, easy to use, but also like in-depth um, coverage for all different types of Amazon ad products. And then in terms of that, we work with agencies and we'll work with large brands. And then even if you're just starting out, it's worth coming to us for a conversation because we're always happy to help.
Perfect. So, yeah, and as I mentioned before, the link is also in the video description below. So click on it, go ahead on the website and learn more about Ben and XNURTA and their services. So Ben, thanks again for joining me today. It was super interesting to hear what you have to share about AMC, and I'm looking forward to see you soon again on our channel.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me, and looking forward to it again.
I hope this video will help you to understand how you can use Amazon Marketing Cloud's data to improve your sponsored ad performance. If you're interested in what XNURTA tool does and how they do it, check their link in the video description below. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe buttons if you enjoy the content we create. And if you have additional questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below. And now I would recommend you to watch a detailed demo of how XNURTA tool works. So check this out.